How's work going?
Work is not all that good. Wayne, a buddy of mine from work, he just isn't pulling his weight. I keep having to keep covering for him all the time, and it's just...
Have you told Wayne that?
If I told him, it would hurt him.
Yes, he might be hurt. So what's your problem?
Well, I don't want to hurt Wayne.
I'm sure you don't want to hurt him. But what's that got to do with the decision you have to make?
Well, I just don't want to make a decision without taking Wayne's feelings into account. That's cruel.
I agree with you that would be cruel. But when are you going to tell Wayne that you have to keep covering for him?
You just said that if I told him, it would hurt him and that it would be cruel.
No, I didn't. I said to tell Wayne without taking his feelings into account would be cruel. That's very different from you.
I don't see the difference. It would still hurt him.
But it would not harm him. If anything, it would help, and that's the big difference.
Now I'm really confused. How could it possibly help to hurt Wayne?
Have you ever gone to the dentist?
Sure.
Did it hurt when the dentist drilled your tooth to fill the cavity?
Yes.
Did he harm you?
No, he actually made me feel better.
Hurt and harm are different. Did it hurt when you ate the sugar that gave you the cavity?
No, it tasted good.
Did it harm you?
Yes.
That's my point. Things can hurt and not harm us. In fact, they can be very good for us. And things that feel good may harm us and be very bad for us.
That analogy with the visit to the dentist helped Jason understand law number 6, the law of evaluation. You need to evaluate the effects of setting boundaries and be responsible to the other person. But that doesn't mean you should avoid setting boundaries because someone responds with hurt or anger. To have boundaries is to live a purposeful life. Jesus uses the term narrow gate. It's always easier to go through the broad gate of destruction and continue to not set boundaries where we need to. But the result is always the same: destruction. Only the honest, purposeful life, defined and supported by clearly established boundaries, leads to good fruit. We need to evaluate the pain caused by our making choices and setting boundaries and empathize with it. Obviously, sometimes we cause pain by making choices others don't like. We also cause pain by confronting people when they're wrong. But if we do not share our anger with another, bitterness and hatred can set in. We need to be honest with one another about how we're hurt. As iron sharpens iron, we need confrontation and truth from others to grow. No one likes to hear negative things about him or herself, but in the long run, hearing those things may be good for us. The Bible says if we are wise, we will learn from such confrontations. Admonition from a friend, as well as admonition given to a friend, while it can hurt, can also help. And that is law number 6. We need to evaluate the painful effects caused by setting boundaries and by the confrontations that come with enforcing those boundaries, and we need to see how that hurt is helpful. Law number 7 is the law of proactivity. Just as in the physical world, in the spiritual realm of human relationships, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. After years of compliance, for example, a person's pent-up rage may explode, and reaction phases like that might be necessary just for the establishment of boundaries, but they are not sufficient. Once you've reacted, it's now time to rejoin the human race and establish connections as equals, beginning to love your neighbor as yourself. This is the beginning of proactive instead of reactive boundaries. This is where you're able to use the freedom you gained through reacting to love, enjoy, and serve one another. Proactive people show you what they love, what they want, what they purpose, and what they stand for, as opposed to those who are known by what they hate, what they don't like, what they stand against, and what they will not do. Proactive people are able to love others as themselves and die to self and not return evil for evil. Spiritual adulthood calls you to own your own reactive period and feelings and then move on from that stage. A reactive stage is necessary, but it's just a stage.